Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I see a lot of people that have joined. Thank you. How is everybody? Wow. Hello, Amit. Hello, Kushbu. And hello, Vamsi. Thank you. Nice to see you. Hello, Nagesh. I actually wish I could see you all because my team knows I hate just speaking to a camera. I like to speak to real people. But I know that you're there. And thank you for being here today. And I know that a lot of you have sent your questions in as well. And I will do my best to answer as many questions as possible. Hello, Riddhi. Hi, Anuj. Hello, Shruti. Hi, Caesar. Hi, Devjit. Hello, Yogitha. Wow, so there's a lot of people here. I feel like I'm talking to a bunch of friends. Thank you all for being here. Now, I haven't done too many lives on YouTube, so I hope it all goes well. If we have any technical glitches, please forgive me. Ask for forgiveness in advance. I will do my best to be clear, to be energetic, and to connect with you as much as I can through this platform. I'm glad that YouTube provides us with the ability to be able to connect. And I am glad that I can take people's questions and I can provide some level of mentoring for you all. So thank you for sending your questions in. Now, obviously, we got hundreds of questions. And what I'll do is I will take I've taken 10 questions. I've taken questions in the area of wealth, in the area of mindset, in the area of high performance, in the area of business. And let's just see. So I'm just going to spread the questions across a number of disciplines. But for those of you who don't know who I am, just a quick background on myself. So my name is RonMalhotra, and I'm extremely passionate about success. Now, for the last 12 or 13 years, I have been talking about success and achievement, and I have dedicated my life to learning everything that I can about the main contributors that contribute to a holistically successful life. I'm 43 years of age. I am married. I have an 8-year-old daughter. I was born in India, and I have been living in Australia for a long time. I suppose one of the best things I can probably say about myself is that I have learned the values of peace, compassion, and well-being from the East, and I have learned the values of achievement and discipline from the West. And I feel very privileged because I've been able to integrate the wisdom of both worlds. And I suppose I've been very blessed that I'm able to take complex concepts, dissect them, and then present them in a way that people can engage with and understand. Now, I always say that I'm not just a teacher. Although I have the spirit of a teacher, I'm predominantly a practitioner, meaning that everything that I learn, I dissect, I understand, I apply, I get results from, and only then I share and teach it. So I hope that that you can see that everything that I speak about is something that I have experienced, I have embodied, and that's why I have a lot of passion for it. Now, just if you want to look up a little bit about my achievements, you can Google me. If you want to look up my professional background, please check me out on LinkedIn. If you want to look up my philosophy and understand what my belief system is and what I stand for, you can check me out on Instagram. I do put out a fair bit of, I guess, informational videos, and I try and share as many insights as possible on YouTube as well. And if you go through my YouTube channel, you will find that there is a range of videos that I have put together to enable people to be more, do more, and have more, which is basically my underlying philosophy that drives all the work that I do. From a professional background perspective, I have a wealth management business. I have a business advisory company. I also have a training company. We have 10 brands that have a global appeal. I have also written a number of books, and I have written 6 books, and I'll be publishing 2 more books at the end of this year. And of course, I speak globally as well on the topics of success, business, wealth, high performance. And very recently, I've even been venturing into spirituality, because I do not believe that it's possible to be holistically successful without an understanding of energy, frequency, and vibration, without the acquisition of wisdom, and without understanding our connection to the world and others. So I just want you to understand a little bit about me, because some of you may have already been connected with me or following me, but some of you may be very new to who I am, and I just wanted to take the time to give you some background on myself. Now, we don't really have a topic as such, but please understand that everything that I talk about today is designed with my objective to enable you to be more, meaning to be more high charactered, to be more disciplined, to be more mentally tough, to be more resilient, to be more agile, to do more, meaning to become more action orientated, to become more productive, to perform at a higher level, and to have more, meaning to actually have abundance, have more achievements, and have more economic and business success. So that's really what drives my work. And so so some Prithviraj has asked me, please tell success formula by your life experience. I will try and incorporate as many examples as possible. But please understand, because a lot of the questions that have come to me require a lot of in-depth understanding. So sometimes it's not going to be possible for me to go very deep into the how. I will give you the what. I may even give you the why. But I highly recommend, if you really want the how, you really have to go through a structured program. And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to just promote my services, but think about this for a second. If, let's just say, you wanted to become an architect, you would not ask somebody, how do I become an architect, and expect to achieve mastery in the space of architecture by somebody's response. Because no matter what they tell you, you're still going to have to commit to a structured program of learning, practice, evaluation, and implementation for you to achieve mastery in anything. And success is very similar. Business is very similar. Money and wealth is very similar. You can't get tips and tactics on social media to achieve mastery. Certainly, it can enhance your understanding. After what I share with you, you might start to understand what you need to do. But then again, that's where the process starts. It doesn't finish there. And I find that a lot of the times I get questions that would indicate to me that people don't quite understand how the process of learning actually unfolds. So let's start with some questions. I'm going to first take a question from Dr. Praveen Kondekar. I hope I have the pronunciation right. So Dr. Praveen Kondekar, thank you for sending this question in. And you have basically asked me a question that relates to high performance. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to bring up your question. And by the way, this is not just for Praveen, it's actually for anybody that's listening, anyone that is wanting to improve their performance at work. I think this question is quite relevant. So I'm just going to bring up his question so I can read it out to you so you know exactly what the question is, and then I'll provide my response in a minute. And just want to quickly say hello. Saying hello to everybody. I know new people have joined in, so wonderful to see that so many people have joined in today. Okay, let me bring up Praveen's question here in a second. Okay, so the question is, Praveen's actually asked a question, and some of you may be able to relate to this particular experience because you might be experiencing this at work as well. While working in government-funded organization, it is very difficult to handle many situations. Now, I don't think that this only applies to government-funded organizations. I think this applies to every corporation. I think every employee can probably attest to the fact that when you're working with people, there are a lot of difficult situations. If your intention is for the betterment of the organization and you wish to take decisions accordingly, some high officials will get hurt and they will treat you as the enemy. And they are powerful enough to keep you away from contributing. I think without power position, it will be difficult to deliver. And in order to get power, you need to stop delivering that manner. So basically, I think Praveen is asking me, how do you become more powerful in an organization? So I'm going to share some strategies with you. And I think one of the first things that we need to realize is that the acquisition of power is not a bad thing, because power is only bad when you misuse it. If you're a good person, you have a good heart, you have a good character, you have high ethical and moral values, it's actually not a bad idea for you to be powerful. Why? Because if you have high character and you have a high ethical and moral compass, you are going to use that power for doing good. You see, power is like a knife. You can use a knife to cut up vegetables. You can use a knife to stab somebody. Power is not bad. It's the person who has the power that can decide to do good or bad things. So one of the things I find very frequently is that a lot of people want to deny power. They believe that the acquisition of power naturally makes you evil. It doesn't. It only makes you a bad person if you don't have a high moral and ethical compass, meaning that you don't really value morals and ethics. And morals and ethics is simply about doing the right thing. So one of the things I have realized is that it's important when you're working in a company for you to become powerful. But how do you become powerful? So here are some of my tips. The first way to gain power in any organization, and I hope you've got notes, you might want to write down your notes. Because this is not something that you can just learn and master by being exposed to it once. First, number one, improve your communication skills. When you improve your capability to express your thoughts and feelings in a precise and articulate manner, people already start to see you as a high caliber individual. It is very difficult to gain power if people do not see you as a high caliber individual, and nothing will demonstrate your professional image or enhance your professional image as your capability to be able to communicate well, because it's going to immediately enhance your professional image. So that's the first way to gain power. The second is create value for others. Now, when you create value for others, most people have the mindset when they go into work, they're only thinking about themselves. How can I get my salary? How can I do my time with the least resistance possible? How can I get along with people? How can I get my holidays? How can I get my promotion? When you are a value-oriented person, you go into the organization and you say, how can I add value to others? Now, sometimes you will not have the power to be able to do what you want. You have to find a way to add value with the amount of power that you have. Okay? Because a lot of the times, if you don't have positional power, you can only influence what you can influence at the position that you're in. But you have to try and find a way to create value for others. And that's the second way that you gain power. The third one is to expand your relationships and networks. Networks is simply about how many people know you. And so the more people know you, the better it is, because if you're memorable and you have large connections, you have the ability to be able to do a lot more. Because ultimately, with whatever business you're in, whatever industry you're in, whatever marketplace you're in, the number of people that know you will have an impact on the opportunities that you attract. So build relationships and networks. The number four point to gain power is to make yourself indispensable. What that simply means is that you gain such good mastery at one or two complex tasks that are related to your role, and you become so good at it that it becomes extremely difficult and expensive to replace you. Indispensability, it drives up demand, but it also makes you a key person of influence and value in your organization. Number five, build influence. And influence simply means how many people trust you, respect you, and like you. Okay, so networks is all about how many people know you, but influence is how many people trust you, respect you, and like you. The more people trust you, respect you, and like you, the more power you're going to have. And understand that ultimately leadership is about influence. You can be somebody who does not have positional power, but if you have influence power, you can override somebody that has positional power. Okay, so one of your jobs is to find out, how do you build influence? A lot of people in positions of power only have positional power, meaning that the only reason they have power is because they have the position. They actually don't have natural influence. So if you build natural influence, you will be able to override some of those people. Number six, create value for people that work under you. Okay, because the people under you are probably going to be the most neglected in an organization. So what you want to do is you want to create value for people who are under you, who report to you, or are in more subservient or subordinate positions. You want to create value for them because some of those people will eventually rise in the organization. And what you want to do is you want to start to build deep relationships with them. Number seven, create a coalition with your superiors. What that simply means is that people who you are reporting to, you need to try and get into their circle. But rather than expecting things, rather than asking for things, rather than begging for things or demanding things, you need to find out what they want. You need to find out what they need, what's going to help them move in their career. If you can support them in their career, they will support you with yours. So this is a very important point. Unfortunately, what a lot of people do when they lack experience is they constantly ask their superiors for favors. They ask for them to give them more money, give them more positions, or give them more authority. No, you need to create power. You need to actually give them things first. You need to do things that will create value for them, and you need to find out what they want, what are they motivated by, and you want to support that. So then that will naturally create the next thing, which is called reciprocity, and we'll talk about reciprocity in a different topic. The next one is you have to learn how to play politics. I don't care what people say. People might say, you know, politics is bad. Or people might say, I don't like people who play politics. But please understand, wherever there are people, there is going to be politics. Okay, so when people say, I don't like politics, what they're actually saying is, I don't understand politics. People are always going to be political. People are always going to be self-interested. People are always going to have selfish agendas. You need to know how politics works. Okay, you're going to have to be slightly political. Next one, you need to create goodwill to trigger reciprocity. And how you create goodwill? Goodwill simply means how people thinking of you in a favorable way. Okay, so taking initiative, volunteering activities, all of this sort of stuff will start to build influence. You see, most people want to build influence without doing any work. Okay, and they try and get influence the wrong way, which is to try and get power through position. You want to build sustainable influence, and that takes time. Just like you can't get heat from a fireplace without putting the logs in first, you can't build influence without creating value for others first. And influence is something that you must work on a daily basis. Majority of people have no influence in the world. They have no influence even in their own families. They have very little influence in their communities. They have very little influence in their teams and their organizations. They have very little influence in nationally or internationally. And the reason for that is they don't understand how influence works. Now, just because you're a good-hearted person, or you're talented, or you're very good at what you do, is not going to naturally attract influence. You actually have to deliberately create influence by adding value to others. So this is something that you need to realize. And the last point is, if you really want to learn this, then I run these events quite regularly called the Advanced Communication Program. And the reason I want you to know this is because I go deep into this. Okay, you're not going to learn the power of influence. And you know, some of the most powerful people in the world also happen to be some of the most influential people in the world. So if you really want to understand influence, you want to position yourself as a key person of influence in your community or your organization, you need to learn influence. But those are the key points. So I hope that, Praveen, I hope that that's helped you. The second person that I've got who has asked a question is Neetu. She's asked a question about success. And her question is success a mindset game or is it an emotion game? I'm going to repeat that question. So Neetu's question is it a mindset game or is it an emotion game? Here is my response. Success is a mindset game. It's a soul set game. And it's a skill set game. And let me explain that. What is mindset? Mindset is a combination of your attitude, your values, your beliefs, your perspectives, and the number of mental models that you have to solve problems. Okay, mindset is not just positive thinking. A lot of people think if I'm a positive thinker, I have a good mindset. No, it's a lot more than that. Your attitude, your beliefs. What do you actually believe? Do you believe that success is easy? Do you believe that it's an obligation for you to maximize your potential? What do you believe? So mindset is a combination of your attitude, your beliefs, your values, your biases, your perspectives, and how many mental models you have to solve complex problems. Soul set is the acquisition of wisdom, awareness, and consciousness. Meaning that the more aware you are, self-aware, and the more aware you are about your relationship with the world and others, also the more you acquire wisdom and the more conscious you are about your own activities and the impact of your activities on the world, the more you're developing your soul set. So you've got the mindset, you've got the soul set, and the third factor is the skill set. And by skill set, we are not talking about average skills. We are talking about the types of skills that can create tremendous value in the world or can solve complex problems in the world. They're the only types of skills that attract a lot of financial abundance. Average skills attract average money. If you want to attract a financial abundance, you need to develop the type of skill set that either creates a lot of value in the world and the marketplace, or solves a very complex problem that other people cannot solve or are unwilling to solve. That's where financial abundance comes in. And success is a combination of mindset, soul set, and skill set. Okay, so if you get developing all three, you're going to be unstoppable. Unfortunately, our school system doesn't teach us how to develop mindset, how to develop soul set, and how to develop the type of skill set that will attract financial abundance. Schools and universities don't teach it. I mean, to me, it just baffles me that we do 15, 20 years of school and university education, and we practically learn nothing about how to develop our mindset, soul set, and skill set that will create financial abundance. So please understand that if whatever money you get paid, you're getting paid as per the value that you are creating in the marketplace. And the amount of money that we make is a combination of a number of things. Number one, the complexity of the problem that we solve. Number two, the level of mastery that we have upon our skills. Number three, the difficulty in replacing you. Number four, your ability to promote yourself. These four factors collectively determine the amount of remuneration, compensation, or financial abundance that you're going to attract in your life. Okay, very important to understand. A lot of people think that the remuneration is fixed. It's only fixed because their mindsets are fixed. A growth mindset understands that income and remuneration is something that the person can influence. When you have a fixed mindset, you see your income as being something fixed because you have a fixed mindset, you have fixed perspectives. And so you've got to change your mindset first if you want to attract more money. Question 3 is come from Harsha. She's asked a question about high performance. Hello, Harsha. Harsha's asked a question about how to manage your time when you have limited, how to be a high performer when you have limited time and limited resources. So here's the first thing, Harsha. This is what I do. First thing I have realized is that majority of things that I will do in my life are a waste of time. Majority of things are a complete waste of time. They're not going to get me closer to my goals. They're not going to maximize my potential. They're not going to bring me fulfillment and joy. And they're not going to move the needle forward in my life. Majority of things in my life are a waste of time. You have to realize that because you have been in today's world, you have so many choices. You can follow so many influencers. You can read so many books. You can do so many programs. You have so many TV channels. You have so many bars and restaurants that you can go to, right? So there are so many clubs that you can join. Today, we have too many choices. And the ability to limit your choices by identifying the 20% of the activities that will contribute to 80% of your results. This is a mental model that was promoted by an Italian man by the name of Pareto. It's also called the Pareto principle. And the Pareto principle basically, it affirms that 20% of activities result in 80% of results. Okay, so if you really want to take quantum leaps in your life, you need to identify the most important work that you will do. Let me give you an example. In my business, there are few activities that dramatically propel the business forward. One of them is creation of intellectual property. If I create intellectual property, not only does it allow me to position myself uniquely in the marketplace, not only does it allow me to create immense value